my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Unbroken I'm Still Standing. I pray everyone had a blessed day today. I did 14 minutes on the row machine today, so I am very proud of myself. I have not been on the row machine in months. My core is really weak, so I need assistance with walking. So I use a cane or a rollator because I can't stand up very long by myself. You know how those floaty things that are at the car dealerships and stuff that float around the air? That's how I am if I stand up too long by myself. So I will fall. But we are here to discuss my MS journey. The things that I will be talking about today is leading up to me when I first got diagnosed. And for those that do not know, multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that affects the central nervous system. That's your brain, your spinal cord, and the nerve in your eye. Because I'm blind in my right eye, but you can't tell by looking at me. I can see on my left eye, but anyway. But yes, looking back on now since I've been diagnosed, I started having symptoms when I was 10. Because I used to fall all the time, playing, tripping, just falling, being clumsy, which I thought it was. And come home, I used to bust out my knees, bust out my toe, sprain my ankles. Many times I sprained my ankle. And I was a trooper. I mean, I handled that pain. Didn't tell my mother anything. You know, when you're a little kid, you don't complain too much. And they say traumatic stress also leads to things that waking up is laying dormant in your body. So I remember when I was in California, I was staying with my auntie. It was during the Rodney King riots. I was 19 years old, and I was partying, smoking, and drinking. So I remember coming from the kitchen. I just fixed some fried chicken and some potatoes and onions, and I fell. I just blacked out, passed out. And I remember coming to, I heard my auntie yelling my name. And she's like, what the hell was that noise? And I was laying there and I was like, I fell. I blacked out, auntie. And she was like, no more smoking and drinking for you. How am I supposed to explain to your mother you died on my watch? But she didn't even come out the room to check on me. I just got my ass up, laid my ass on the couch, and I didn't smoke that day, but I smoked the next day. And went on living my life. And then remember again when I blacked out again. I was married at the time. I was 25. And I got up from the bed to go to the restroom. And I fell out in front of the TV. And I woke up to my husband calling my name and asked me, what the hell is wrong with you? Standing over me. And he helped me get up, and I was laughing. I'm like, I don't know. I just blacked out. I don't know. So I proceeded to the bathroom. Came back out the bathroom. I fell again. This time, bust my face up, my eye, my lip, my nose on his side. And I saw my son, Josh, peeking out of his bedroom door. He was maybe 8 years old, 8 or 9, and I know he was terrified, didn't know what was going on. So my husband called the EMTs, and they came, and my blood pressure and everything was fine. They took my blood. They said my iron was low, so for me to contact my primary and go to the doctor. I said, okay, no, whatever. Because, back then, I guess, for me, I didn't take my health seriously. I mean, I got my pap smears done, my blood work done, or whatever, but I never had no blood pressure situations, diabetes, or anything like that. And then another time, I remember I was driving on the highway to go pick up my husband from work. It was like maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, and I had that vertigo feeling. You know, I mean, people that know that dizzy feeling. So I would have to pull over on a medium and roll down the windows. I was crying. I was scared. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But I still didn't go to the doctors. So I had to call my husband and let him know what was going on. And he was like, well, just stay there and get yourself together before you start proceeding on the road. And then I'm saying another time, I didn't black out this time, but I was in 2 car accidents. Neither one of them were my fault. And I remember getting off of work. I was at a red light, and this young lady hit me from behind. And that jerked my neck and everything. You know how car accidents happen to you. And I was in pain. I went to the emergency room that night, but they gave me some 800 Tylenol or whatever, and I proceeded still just to go out and hang out or whatever. And then that Sunday, I was with me and my girlfriend were heading out to the club, and I was going down one way, and the car was coming down another way, and his fucking tire came off his car, and I rolled over the tire. So instead of my tire going straight, that shit was sideways. So that tore my axle. All the fluid fell out. Thank God I was able to pull over to the side of the road. And traumatic stress, things that happen to you, I guess it woke up that MS, woke it up. But at the time, I was able to wear high heels. And the guy that caused the accident, I'm running down the road, hollering and cussing him out. And he was like, I just got my tire fixed at the tire shop down the streets. And his car was one of them old, like 1970 something cars, had them big ass 24 rims on the vehicle. And he didn't have any brake lights in the back of his car. So other cars were slamming. It was other accidents. A car swerved and crashed into the light pole. If we had social media back then, wow, I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. And we called the police. It took forever for the police to get there. The police officer didn't even bother to get the car. He just taking information, sitting in the car, trying to ask me out, asking for a number. I'm like, man, you see these 3 cars, people that had accidents, and you sitting here trying to flirt. That was a crazy freaking night. So I'm thinking it's about maybe another week or 2 later. Some of my girlfriends and I were going on our first cruise. And that was fun. I can tell you some stories about that, but yeah, we partied. My first time experience eating sushi and eating that wasabi pepper sauce or paste. And the people that we're dealing with on the cruise and the nightclub and everything, and some guys got into a fight with some other guys, and later that Sunday, my eye started flickering like a light switch, just flickering on and off. Like the light bulb's about to go out, or you closing the blind, open the blind. But I didn't think nothing of it. I figured, let me change my contact. I didn't change my contact for maybe like a month, so I figured I had an eye infection or something. But remind you, I had a little eye pain behind my eye. That's called optic neuritis. So because the nerve is, you're supposed to see pink, but I was seeing white. So got home that Monday night. Woke up that Tuesday morning. I couldn't see out of my right eye. So I was doing this right here. I can see out of my left eye. I was doing this right here. I couldn't see nothing out my right eye. I'm like, what is going on? I was rubbing my eye. So I yelled to my husband, Josh, I can't fucking see. I can't see out of my eye. And he was like, what are you talking about? Stop tripping. I was like, I cannot see. I mean, come on. So we went to the eye doctor. And he ran tests and shined the light in my eye. I couldn't see nothing. Like the bright lights, I couldn't see nothing. So he told me I need to go to the hospital. And I need to get an MRI because something's going on with my brain or whatever. So I went like a month later. How stupid was I? A month later, I went to the eye doctor. I arrived there at 6 a.m. and I met a doctor. Her name was Dr. Newman. She was very awesome. I still talk to her to this day. And she was really baffled because at the time MS was just probably being really, really known maybe a few years before I was diagnosed. I was 36 years old when I was diagnosed. That was 16 years ago. So they sent me up to the eye clinic, and another doctor ran tests, and they consult with each other and everything. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, I'm still here. I'm ready to go. I got things to do. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to go smoke, So remind you, I was there at 6 a.m. and the doctor asked me questions about family history, about high blood pressure, diabetes. And I told him, I said, I have a cousin that has this illness called MS. And he's like, that's called multiple sclerosis. So make a long story short, he said, I believe you probably have multiple sclerosis. We need to admit you. I said, admit me to the hospital. I said, well, can I make an appointment? Because I got things to do. I got to go to work. I have to take care of my son. I mean, I can't be at the hospital. Admit me. I don't want to. Who wants to be in a hospital? But at the time, my mother was in a hospital. She had an incident and she was in a coma. So a lot of stress again, accidents, falling. I was molested as a young child. So all that traumatic stress, I guess, woke up the MS. So I'm like, you got to admit me for my eye? He said, yes. So when they called the wheelchair for me to take me up to my room, it was 6 p.m. There was nobody else in the eye clinic. It was pitch black in there. I felt really strange getting pushed in a wheelchair in the hospital. Because on the first time that I was in the wheelchair, when I was pregnant with my son. So they finally got me up to the hospital and they put me on steroids. They hooked me up to IV for antibiotics. And they start running tests on me and had to get an MRI. But I'm going to leave that right there and I will continue this story later. But listen, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to ask me, please leave it in the comment section or you can email me personally. I have no problem discussing anything with you. I'm an open book. But just stay tuned for more of this story. Just remember, we are all part of the same puzzle, just in different pieces. Stay blessed. Bye.